Item 1, Chairman's Report. So I guess that could be me. Item A on the Chairman's Report is Western Hidalgo County Loop System Development. I noticed the staff sat down. That must mean I'm going to be winded. But no, as we're aware, there's been a great deal of discussion and anticipation, questions, etc., about the loop and particularly the western portion of the loop, and that was continued. The RMA has, with the entire board supporting, has put its best foot forward in an effort to work with our fellow stakeholders, whether it's the local communities, the cities, the county itself, to be an asset, to be a tool, to be the reason that the RMA was created. And so we've leaned forward all along. I guess it's a known, it's a fact that we believe we had a memorandum of understanding to bring us together with the county to act on the fact that the RMA has accelerated the western portion of the loop on our overall project lists. Strategic plan is the word I'm searching for. And so it's good to say that you're going to accelerate that and to physically do it on your strategic plan and to publish that. But then you got to get down to the work. And in order to get down to the work, you got to have an understanding and put it all together with this MOU. We believed we had an MOU that was ready for us to move forward. So we had a great meeting with many stakeholders, people from TxDOT and the county, et cetera, and left that meeting believing that we were ready to move forward. And, for whatever the reason may be, and whatever it is, that meeting was on a Friday. A few days later, we learned that we're not ready to move forward with the MOU. And so there's been some continued discussion, some back and forth here. I think what I want to report more than anything right now is this idea that as not only the public, but the elected officials, the people serving our community, and thank goodness that they are, whether they're commissioners at the county, whether they're mayors for our local communities, as they, like myself, more and more are being brought up to speed with the intricacies and the sometimes difficulties with transportation, funding, planning, how it all works. I mean, there really is a lot to it. And the idea of, drawing on the funding sources, whether it be state or federal funds. I mean, there are people, and thank goodness we have them, some of y'all sitting here with us, our staffs that have a career of and an education to know how to deal with these, rules and regulations and how things work when it comes to transportation funding. And I tell you, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so I certainly, and I've said this publicly at the NPO meeting, I totally get and respect that, a mayor of any city here, they're the mayor of that city and they're speaking on behalf of that city and they want what's best for that city. And any commissioner, it's appropriate that they're pulling for the interest of their precinct and what's happening within their precincts. And so I understand that that's what, some of the forces that are pulling in different directions here, it seems at times, that's some of what's going on. But I tell you, and I have my finger on the pulse pretty well, I really am making an effort and drawing on the board and drawing on the staff to represent who I'm here to represent, and that is the Hidalgo County RMA, the body that we're here having a meeting with today. I really believe in what the RMA, the purpose of the RMA. I believe that it is an organization that our community and that the county is well served by, independent of, any history that may be out there. I can sit here today and tell you that I'm proud to sit here in the chair. It's an honor. And we are putting our best foot forward to work with all of our stakeholders and to continue the work of the staff and to do what needs to be done in our community. And so that's the message, the chairman's report. I do believe, and I can report here that as of late, some of the most updated commentary and dialogue and discussions with other stakeholders is feeling, and it's moving in a positive direction. I'm feeling good about that, and we'll just take it a day at a time. But the message is that the RMA is here, we're willing, and we're leaning forward to work because our community deserves the projects that we're talking about. The community needs, we all know the needs. We live here, we understand the great need and what these things will do in our community if in fact we can get them done. And so it's a bit rocky along the way, frankly, but I think it's coming around, and I feel upbeat, and I want to thank the staff for the work they're doing with what we have on the ground right now. And I'm optimistic about what's coming in the future. And so we'll continue. That's what I have to report in terms of the Western Hidalgo County Loop on item A. There was a special meeting of the MPO yesterday. It was a special called meeting, and you'll remember that as the chair of the RMA, I have a seat at the MPO, a voting seat at the MPO. You'll also remember that there's somewhere, I think I'm saying it right, 13, is it, or 14 seats at the MPO. You'll remember that our MPO work that a lot of people did that I think was spectacular work. I remember it all the way back to the days that I used to sit over with Bill Summers at the Valley Partnership, that we needed to bring 3 MPOs together so that we could have a greater and bigger voice up at the state level. And lo and behold, I think when was that, 2019 or so, that the 3 MPOs do come together. And today we have a Rio Grande Valley MPO. And that brings Cameron County, Hidalgo County, and a portion of Starr County together, and the stakeholders to the table where the MPO is working with these different stakeholders, whether it's a city, whether it's an RMA like ourselves, whether it's county officials, to move transportation forward in our community. And yesterday, this special called meeting had to do with some of, and I chuckle because it's back to what I said in the beginning, it's really pretty complicated transportation funding for a layman like myself. And I said over there, and I'll say here, for a guy who sells ice cream cones, it's a lot to take in and try to get up to speed with and understand. Yesterday's meeting was primarily, and we're thankful to the MPO staff due to the fact that funds that had been allocated, but not, staff correct you, I'm saying anything wrong, but funds that had been allocated to different stakeholders, whether it be a precinct or a community or a city, whatever the stakeholder is here, those funds hadn't yet been spent, and we got into a use it or lose it situation. And certainly, no matter where it's spent in our community, it's going to be better that it's spent in one of these many needed projects, regardless of where it goes in our community. But it's the MPO's job, along with the policy board, That's one of the votes that I have, that I sit on that policy board. The policy board takes the recommendations from the technical advisory committee that we have some staff on. Thanking Ramon for the work that you do there. And we take those recommendations about what's the priority for these dollars and how should we spend it, what's the right thing to be doing, and then the policy board has to final say so and votes on it. The risk of losing these funds was a very real risk. And at this special call meeting yesterday, the job at hand was, okay, how do we not allow those funds to be lost? And I'm happy to say that although the RMA, the Hidalgo County RMA, had a request in for those funds because the MPO went through the formalities of following the laws, the rules, the policies, and requesting from the stakeholders, we put our name in the hat, so to say, for some of those funds, believing that it was the right and best thing to do for our community. And one of the things that, everybody sees it from a different perspective. Of course, if you're one of the local cities or you're a precinct, I got to see, and thank goodness that they're there. Thank goodness that they're doing that. Some of our local commissioners, county commissioners, they're over there speaking on behalf of their precinct, and they're saying, hey, policy board, this is the need that we have, and I hope you give some consideration. We need these dollars because our people need it in this area, or whatever the case may be. Good for them. That's what they need to be doing. It's great to see that and to hear that. The RMA too was there, but our request was in. It's important that we understand that historically the funds that we're talking about are Category 7 funds. I'm learning a little bit of the time here. Category 7, it's one of many categories, different types of funding that you can get. Historically, the RMA had not requested for these funds, but under a use it or lose it scenario, and believing that we have the loop, and we're talking about the Western Hidalgo County Loop. Well, to get to that portion of the loop on the west, it starts down here on the south. We're building it right now. It's what's under construction right now. And our next portion of that, segment 4, is what continues and would get us to what we're calling the western portion of the loop. What we requested at the special call meeting, we, the RMA, was funding to move forward on the segment 4A, which is the next portion after what we have on the ground right now. And it made sense to us to do that. One, because we certainly didn't want to lose the funds, and two, because we're ready, and because the RMA has unique abilities or properties that other stakeholders don't. And we have the ability to continue the tolling, like we're going to do on 365, to continue the project and actually get it built and get it done. So what people, we're going to work to do an even better job, I believe, to educate the public and make sure that, and our stakeholders, that the reason we were doing that is for all the reasons I just mentioned, but also they're getting so much more for the dollars that we would be investing. If we're using some of those dollars, it's no other local dollars needed that we would need to go ahead and get these roads built. That is, the funds got voted on. The RMA did not make the cut, if you will. We're not on the list, but nevertheless, it was dispersed to many projects in our community, and I lean forward on behalf of the RMA and our vote. And in spite of not getting what it is that we were requesting, I voted in favor of the recommendation. I voted in favor And really what I want to impress upon all of us and what I'm asking all of our stakeholders in our community, whether you're a mayor, whether you're a commissioner, is that's, I believe, what we need. I'm in favor of that, even though we didn't get what we were requesting. But you know what? It's what's best in the community. It's what was voted on by everybody here. It's what the technical advisory committee is telling us. And so we're good with that. Let's get those dollars. Let's get them spent. Our project will be next. And if we could just continue to work, do the work that we're doing here and unify ourselves, the sky is the limit, because we all know what we have here is potential. I apologize for being long-winded, but that's in essence the report that I have in terms of the chairman's report for the Western Hidalgo County Loop. I do have reason to believe that we'll get what's done, what's on the ground now, and we'll continue with the next segment of it. We'll continue pushing. We'll find ways to make that happen. And we will answer those stakeholders that are saying Western Hidalgo County Loop now. We're making an effort. We listen. We're hearing, and we're doing what we can, everything we can, to try to make that happen. But it's got to be done right. It's got to be done according to the rules. It's got to be done properly, and that it takes a great deal to do that. And thanks to our staff, to our legal counsel, to our board, we're making every effort to do that. I also wanted to make the point, and I'll say it here right now, the RMA is here to do that, but also to serve our community in any way we can. All of these smaller communities that may not have the staff to do the projects that need to be done in their community, the RMA is here. We're here to serve. We're here to work with the communities and put our best foot forward to help in any way we can.